This is the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. I'm Don. He's Rick.
I'm Rick.
Uh,
Rick, hey,
you know what, Rick? I know we had something
what?
planned for today, but we got to talk about this Maxx Crosby stuff because there's
Okay.
one of two things happening here, and either way, it stinks.
Rise up! Rise up! It's game time!
A couple days ago, last week, Maxx Crosby was traded to the Baltimore Ravens for 2 first-round picks.
Okay.
Now, the second team in contention was Dallas, who offered a first and second, but they ended up trading him to Baltimore.
Okay.
So,
I said okay.
so he was examined by doctors yesterday,
hmm
and he failed the physical, so they canceled the deal. So now, before I ask you your thing, one of the most important parts of is who were the doctors. There was the medical staff from the Baltimore Ravens, makes sense. The
Well,
medical
that would
staff from the Las Vegas Raiders makes sense. That's who Max
me.
played for.
Yeah.
And a doctor named Daniel Cooper, who's an expert in these knee injuries, and he has done examinations for other teams, but he's a doctor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Isn't that special? Wow, we have some little bit of hooties going on. I think a little bit of because correct me if I'm wrong. If the trade is canceled, doesn't that open up the door for Dallas to say, well, our deal still stands?
There's more.
Okay.
So that's only a little piece of the pie. That's nothing.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that's good because I'm watching my sugar. I can't have too big of a piece at one time.
Because I know about the diabetes. So what the concern is now, whoever gets him is going to get him at a discount because he's damaged goods.
Oh, now it's all coming into.
But wait,
it's all coming.
there is so much more.
Oh,
Okay,
great
so
tell.
right after he was sent back, the Baltimore was able to sign Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year deal. Plays the same position, not a big gap between Crosby and Hendrickson.
Okay.
The difference is Hendrickson was a free agent, which means that Baltimore gets their 2 first-round picks back.
Oh, well, that seems to me like Baltimore came out okay on that then, because how much did they sign? How much did they sign Hendricks for?
4-year, $118 million. I think it was $28 million a year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, and you say he's not far off from Crosby,
Yeah,
correct?
I'm not quite sure what he's getting now, but he would be around $30 million. So
Okay. So the question I have is, where does that leave your Cowboys now? Do they reintroduce the trade they offered for the first and second and see what happens, or does he just go back to the Raiders and let Las Vegas deal with him?
well, I'm telling you, if the Cowboys try and sign him right away, they're retarded. Because everybody's going to know exactly what happened. And if the Cowboys do sign him and don't give them what they offered him the first time, I will be very disappointed in my Cowboys. Because that's just dirty. But now, it could also be too obvious that the Cowboys would send their doctor in and, all of this other crap. The other advantage was, I think, because Hendrickson was still available, and Baltimore just said, you know what? We really want those 2 first-round draft picks back. And the interesting thing, this is the 4th time Baltimore's done something like this, where they've made a trade Oh, failed the physical. Now, the first time was in 97, but then it was done in, I think, 16 or 18, 20, and 26. So the last three have been recent.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to have a habit of having buyer's remorse. But and it even gets worse. It gets so much worse.
Oh.
Be, because the because the Raiders traded Crosby, that freed up cap space for them to sign people. Now,
Mm.
you could make deals with people, but they wouldn't come into effect until 4 o'clock today.
Okay.
So they spent the cap money they were saving on Crosby to sign other players. So either they're going to have to let one or two of them go and not sign them, because Crosby is still a Raider right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they keep him, they can't keep all of the people who they're planning on signing. The longer they keep him, his value could drop worse. I think if they're going to do anything, they might want to do something now. I've heard Chicago's interested, but you know what? Like, the Cowboys better not touch this guy.
If I'm the Bears, though, I don't want to touch them. The Bears have a solid team already. Why would they want to touch something like that and take a chance on that when they've
You,
already got a solid team that's proven to be championship worthy? Do you think that would make sense for Chicago to go after him?
I don't think Crosby will put him over the top. Yeah.
No. Well, especially, I mean, like you say, this thing now it's out there that he failed the physical. So would Chicago even want him?
Oh
Because
yeah.
they're
Just
going
like,
to have to give him. They're going to have to give him decent money. And what happens if what happens if he gets injured?
well, that
Then
have
they've wasted the money.
well that can happen. That can happen to like any player. The thing is if they want him now, they can get him a lot cheaper than what they could have got him for before. Like, I'm thinking half price or
True.
under,
True.
right?
True.
And even if he's out for the first 4 weeks, 6 weeks, it doesn't matter. You get him back for the last half of the season in the playoffs, you're
That's when
golden.
it counts. Yeah.
You're golden. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe that I'm gonna believe that the Cowboys are not playing dirty here. Although, you know what, I wouldn't put anything past Jerry Jones.
I'm wondering why they would have sent the Dallas Cowboy physician or medical person in there to look at him when they were really out of the picture.
Like I was explaining earlier on, a lot of teams bring this guy in. He's an expert
Mm.
in this specific injury. I think it's too much of a coincidence to have him basically kibosh the deal, and the
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys still want him.
Yeah, it seems strange. But again, I wouldn't put nothing past a Jerry Jones
No.
operated team. And do you honestly think that he would be if the Cowboys did pick him up, and say hypothetically he stayed healthy all season, he came back and he stayed healthy all season, do you actually think someone like that might bring them to playoff contention?
Well, that's a good question. The Cowboys' offense is not a problem. They've got an offense.
They've always had the
The
offense.
problem that they had last year was they had zero defense. Like, they could score 35, their team scoring 40.
Yeah, that's true.
Now they've made a couple deals already to step up their defense. They get this
Okay.
guy in and on the pass rush, right?
Yes.
Like, I mean, a healthy Maxx Crosby is going to be probably in the top 3 sack leaders of the league.
Okay.
That's the kind of player who you want. I just like, I don't know if I'm just blowing smoke out my ass or if I got stuff happening here, but it just seemed to be too much happening at the same time. And it helped Baltimore. It may help Dallas, and it hurt Vegas.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
thing that's like, I'm not a Vegas fan just because I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I think he's just a prick. But he's part owner of Vegas, and
Mm-hmm.
you could tell that the deals they made just in this past week, he was involved, and it was to protect the quarterback that they're going to be drafting, number one overall.
Yeah.
So he's got now help on his offensive line. They picked up a receiver. They picked up a back. That's going to help him because I don't think there's any question at all. The first pick overall is going to be Mendoza, and he's going to go to Vegas. And so Tom Brady being a quarterback, he's going to be all about protecting the quarterback.
Yeah,
So
he's going to build an offensive line that's going to give him protection he needs to do what he can do. Yeah.
yeah, so there are his fingerprints all over that situation. They're just everywhere. Which is, you know what? It's smart. I will give him credit where, credit.
Well, yeah, I was going to say,
I
you
just
can't
don't.
knock
I
him for
just
that.
don't like the guy.
I think your personal hatred for the man has a lot to do with it because I, like you said, I can understand why he's doing it. And you got to give him kudos for that because as being a former quarterback, your line is the one that keeps you from getting injured and gives you time to make some magic, right?
Yep, that's the
So
magic.
I,
No, it's
I understand.
it's hard to score without an offensive line.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless you've got a quarterback who you constantly play in the shotgun, and you've got receivers, and he can do a damn quick release. Yeah, you kind of need an offensive line to help you out. But hey, listen, I hate the Cowboys. I've hated them since 1970 something, since we've had our rivalry, and I know you're not the biggest fan of the Schittsburg, as you call them.
There's a
I
reason
gotta
for
come
that.
up with I gotta come up with a name for Dallas. I really do, because
If you want
every time you say Schittsburg, I go, I gotta come up with a name. So before the first kickoff of the NFL season, I'm not talking preseason. I'm talking the regular season. I'm gonna come up for a counter name for your team.
you do
I
that,
don't know where it's coming from, but it's gonna come from somewhere.
some from somewhere. Yeah.
Anyway,
I I haven't had anything to cheer about with the Cowboys for the last few years either, but at least I'm not um, putting all my hopes on a 90-year-old Aaron Rodgers. So there's that.
no. It will be interesting to see how the new Steeler coach, former Cowboys coach, former Green Bay coach, handles the team. I'm very excited to see what kind of team he puts out onto the field. I know he didn't do great for you guys, but he's a good coach. And like you said, offense wasn't a problem with your team; it was your defense. Why the GM now was McCarthy was just a coach. He wasn't coach GM, correct?
Uh, no, I think he was just a coach.
He was just a coach. So you got to blame the GM for not GM and that for not getting off their friggin' miserable asses and trying to give Dab a little bit of help because, and I hate to compliment your team. It really hurts me. It never hurt me when Roger Staubach was and Troy Aikman was doing it, but after that with Tony Romo, I've had a hard time. But Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback, and I think with the right team behind him, he can do well.
Okay, first of all, I want to address a couple points that you made there.
Okay.
Number
Yeah,
one,
please.
it doesn't matter who the GM is for the Cowboys. The GM is Jerry Jones.
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
He just hires somebody just to put a tag on him.
Yeah.
And the other point I will make, the Dallas Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott as their quarterback. Ever.
Well, we'll just have to see, I guess. We'll have to see how good the Cowboys are. We'll have to see how good the Steelers are. and we'll have to see who the surprise team of the NFL this year is. I mean, you had New England last year, you had the Bears last year
Denver,
that came up,
Denver,
the Super Bowl champ, Seattle. I
Seattle.
didn't. If you would have told me you would have put money on Seattle's going to win the Super Bowl, I wouldn't have put money on it.
No. Okay, I think we got to wrap this up. The key
Okay,
thing to
what are we
watch
going to wrap?
for in the next few days if my theory is right or wrong, and I don't know. We have to wait and see. Is what happens with
Yeah.
Crosby. If he goes to the Cowboys,
Yeah.
there better be some type of investigation.
Well,
Absolutely.
now that you brought me,
If he goes somewhere else, okay, then that's just Baltimore being a little bitch. If he plays for Chicago or New England or something like that, it's fine. But if he ends up with the Cowboys on the honey of a deal, yeah, there better be an investigation.
well, I'll definitely be following up on it now because now you've piqued my interest about all of this. I'd be interested to see if the Cowboys don't take them, if Chicago does take them.
Yeah, we'll see. All right,
We'll see.
All right, we're going to wrap it up now. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe. We'll be back next week. We're going to start doing this back on a weekly situation. So thanks for watching. Rick, we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later, guys. Have a good one.